we've been streaming throughout the Steam Games Festival week, pretty much every day, almost every day. But Gods of Tech wasn't always with us. So sometimes the streams went wonderful and you could hear, both of us and actually watch the game being played and everything. Other times you could see Anna trying to speak and hear nothing, but she sent a lot of hearts.
But now you should be able to hear me. I hope.
We hope now you hear Anna. And we are Valiant Game Studio. We're a very tiny Swedish, Stockholm-based studio. Yay! Anna, if your friends give any feedback about the sound for you, let me know.
Sorry, what was that?
Like if your friends say anything about if you hear yourself or not in the stream, tell me, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are Valiant, and you are watching a game called Kaleidocraft. And Kaleidocraft, we call it an art sandbox simulator, where you play as an artist in this futuristic utopian society. It's a very wholesome society which welcomes your creativity and art. So essentially think about just freeform art making and sharing it in a very wholesome Twitter that never ever hates you or says bad stuff about your art, but always welcomes it and encourages you to make more and more and more. Yeah. Say something about the game, Anna.
But I'm trying to type at the same time. I'm community managing.
Fine. Okay. So I'm gonna continue, and when you get confirmation that people hear you or not hear you, let me know. Okay. So this is the last stream for this Steam Game Festival, and we were just talking a little bit earlier whether we will continue to stream after the festival or not, and we will. We enjoy playing the game so that you can see. And we really hope that you will continue to watch us during the streams and perhaps start to talk in the community hub and tell us what you would like us to draw and what new features you would like in the game. Which brings me to a very important topic. Today, what you see here is a premiere. And exciting. Kaleidocraft is in early access, and we do plan to update it quite frequently. And today we are actually playing version 7.073, which is not available yet for you, but it will be next week. And we added new features.
Yes. Should I talk about the new features?
Do you have confirmation that you're actually being heard?
I've listened to myself in stream, and yes, I'm actually quite loud. I realized.
I can make you
so it should be fine
if you want.
Yeah.
Just a little bit less loud. Okay, this should be fine.
That would...
Okay. So talk about the new features.
Features, yes. So there are two major new features in this build. The first of them being that you can actually customize your character.
And which is why if you watched any of our previous streams, the avatar was the one in our key art, and I couldn't change it, but now I can. And if I know this might come as a shock for you and no one would ever guess, but I really like pink.
I had no idea, Laura. I'm shocked.
Oh. So what? Tell us a little bit about this feature, Anna.
All of these arrows that you see here, they represent one part of the character, basically. So, like, you can customize your hair, change the color of it. You can. Right now, the options are limited. For example, there's only one hat but there's at least something for all of these different parts of your character. So you can change the style of your hair, the color of your hair, your eyes, your eyebrows, and so on. So like to just give a little bit of personal touch to your character. Of course, we want to add more options as we go along, but I think at least you should be able to sort of express yourself a little bit with your character now.
Oh, I'm so cute. And I'm definitely gonna smile. One should always smile.
Yes.
But she needs, okay. She can have collarbones. She can have, it's very hot, so she definitely needs short sleeves.
Yeah, like I said, like we definitely need more options as we go along. Like some of the options right now are a little bit limited, but we're working on it, one step at a time.
We're also listening to you, so you tell us what options you want.
Definitely, we are really looking forward to seeing like what are you looking for in a character customization tool. How would you like to express yourself and so on. So if there's anything on your mind, please let us know. We are always, for example, on Discord. How else should they contact us, Laura?
You can always drop by on Discord or just write something in the community hub in Steam, or drop us an email at hello@valiant.se, or tweet to us on valiant_gs, or drop us a message on Facebook. Many ways.
We're a little bit everywhere, and we try to be very open and approachable, hopefully. We're trying our best. I mean, we're just two people, but we really try to keep our eyes on our social media and really respond. So as you can see, you can randomize your character as well.
Which I think is a very cool feature. I think it's a super, super nice feature, this one. Okay, I like myself.
Yes. Very nice.
Yay! And this is me.
So that's one of the features that we have been working on.
It's coming on Steam as an early access update, sometimes next week. I don't know. I don't want to promise when next week exactly, but it's coming. Or maybe even
because we are in early access, so you can play this right now if you want to, and we will keep expanding on the game and improving it as we go along.
We actually hope to push updates every couple of weeks for Kaleidocraft, and based on how the game is doing and how much you like it or not like it, our plan is to mold our production plan based on your feedback. And right now we have a single player feature, which I'm going to show in a minute. But with your support, we really hope that we will afford to make an online component where you have an online gallery to share your favorite art and participate in art competitions, and also interact with other players' art and be able to rate it, favorite it, download it, use it in your own gallery and as a wallpaper and whatnot. But now we shall make some art. And we said,
that means we can show the second new feature.
Exciting! And we said that as a goodbye stream art thing, we will make a goodbye landscape.
By goodbye, I mean, of course, that we've been part now of the Steam Summer Festival. So this is the last stream of that sort of festival. Like we've been, especially Laura, has been streaming pretty much every day, several times a day sometimes, for this past week. But now that's over. But however, we want to keep, hopefully, streaming regularly going forward. So it's goodbye for now for this festival, but we hope to keep streaming and keep engaging with you in streams and showing you all the time, like, what's the latest, and like really playing the game along with you as we go along as well.
But that's actually a great point. So it's Goodbye Steam Games Festival Summer Edition. And we just celebrated Midsommar, so I kind of know what I want to do now.
But we can start by showing the new feature
Yeah.
up there. Yes.
So I'm just gonna quickly do this, and maybe we can favor it together. So start talking about it. What's the new feature? What is this? What am I doing?
Well, we want to add so many shapes to this game. That's sort of the plan. Like, we want whatever you feel like you need when you make art, we want that to be available to you, which is of course also another point where we want to engage with you as the community and like see, okay, what are you missing? What kind of art would you like to make? And like, what do you need to make that art? But we realized that that's going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot of shapes. So we were thinking like, how can we make that better? How can we help you finding what you're looking for? So that's when we. Oh, okay, that's.
It's a little bug. It's a game in
It's
early access.
okay. But what we wanted to add was the ability to favorite shapes. So if you have some shapes that. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit buggy. They should show up on top there. But you should at least be able to favorite shapes. Put them in the favorite part there. And what's going on? Okay. And so they are always on top. So you can favorite, was it 12 shapes? We got a comment in the chat, Laura, that I have a bit of trouble hearing, Laura. It's quite low.
Oh? How
Don't know if it's possible to increase your volume.
I am trying.
Yeah. Please let us know in the chat if it gets better.
I hope it's a little bit better. Hello, hello, tra la la la. Maybe now I'm singing and it's a good thing that you don't hear me so well. But the microphone is on and the... Hello, everyone.
Yeah, let us know if it's better.
Hopefully it is better. I hope it is. Like OBS tells me it is. I don't know.
Okay.
But I wanted to say about the shapes something. So as Anna mentioned, we want to add a ton of shapes. And
much better, apparently. So
thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for letting us know. Sorry, you were saying, Laura?
So Anna was saying we want to add a ton of shapes, like a ton of shapes. And the problem with that is discoverability of shapes. Like we want to make it easy for you to find the shapes you need. So in order to do that, we have been doing a few things. And this new feature that we're showing, it's an addition to the few things that we have already done. So one thing that we've done is each shape has tags. Which by default, when we add shapes in the game, they are tagged so you can search them. Like for example, this is basic shapes, and it only shows you the shapes that are tagged with basic. But when you select a shape, say for example I get this little guy, you can also select like this and add your own tags, my tag. And then when you search based on your tags, you will be able to find your shapes that you tagged. That's search tags, searchable tags, just search what makes sense. And also you can add tags for these shapes. And the third thing that we have added, that Anna added now, is the ability to favorite shapes. Because we notice that we tend to go back to a certain kind of shapes whenever we do certain kind of art. So you can now actually favor it. You can actually you can show love to the shapes that you love most.
Yes.
Like
you can favorite them, yeah. And that makes them easier to find as well. So like if you're really into skulls, for example, you can always make them pop up on top. And I see there's a bug here that sometimes some of the shapes stick. I'm gonna add that to the backlog. It has to do with the material of the shape. A little bit of extra info there. But yeah, as you can see, you can just add them to your favorites. This is saved between playthroughs or between play sessions as well. So when you come back, your favorite shapes will still be there. And of course, like you saw Laura do, you can also drag them to the trash can and remove them. The trash can is also new since last time. So you can easily just drag and drop stuff there that you want to get rid of.
So you have this ugly school because we have pretty schools and ugly schools. And you can drag the ugly school in the trash can. But maybe you like it, in which case you shouldn't drag it in the trash can.
I mean, we're probably gonna update everything as well. Like, what do people like? What do people not like visually? And remove stuff that people aren't using and people don't like, or just make them prettier. So we're very open to iteration, so to speak.
We are so looking forward for your feedback and to tell us what you like and what you don't like, because we really want to add what you want us to add. So especially when it comes to shapes and color palettes, we actually designed this game, so it's very easy for us to respond to your needs. And right now these are the color palettes that we have added, but go mental and ask us for color palettes and shapes and features. Yeah. So this is goodbye art, and the goodbye is not goodbye to you, but it's goodbye to the Steam Games Festival.
Yes.
And I got a little bit more feedback about and I turned down your volume a little bit, and I hope the stream will be fine.
I can listen to the sound a little bit.
But it's the goodbye for the Steam Games Festival. Thank you, Steam, for having us. And it's also a goodbye to this year's Midsommar, I think. Anna, can you tell us about Midsommar a little bit?
Yeah, we're approaching darker times now on this side of the globe.
Darker times on this side of the globe? What does that mean?
It means that the days are getting darker, which is very apparent when you live in Sweden.
But what is Midsommar, actually?
Sorry, what was that?
What is Midsommar, actually?
What is Midsommar? You mean how we celebrate it, or?
Why is Midsommar celebrated? What up with it? And what crazy things do you do?
I mean, if you've seen the horror movie, you know exactly what's up. I actually haven't myself, but I mean, we do that every year in Sweden, so I don't have to watch the documentary about Swedish Midsummer.
But what was the movie about? It was about you sacrificing virgins and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Okay.
Exactly, which is common practice here in Sweden. But of course, we do it every year, every summer.
Only for Midsummer, right?
Usually, I mean, sometimes just fun to sacrifice some people, so we might do it. I mean, we do have the traditional blot, which the Vikings did during what we call the Viking era. So sometimes we do that. I mean, sacrifice people to the Norse gods, of course.
But is this legal? I thought Sweden is part of the European Union, and I thought sacrificing, especially humans, is not very legal. Or do you know?
Technically, but what I don't know, what you don't know doesn't kill you. Isn't that the proverb?
I understand. So you essentially make human sacrifices, but you don't tell the European Union.
That way. No, but seriously, maybe I should actually tell you a little bit about Midsommar. So some Swedes think that it's actually Sweden's proper national day. We have another national day, which is the 6th of June. But it's we don't really have a connection to why we're celebrating. Like, it's not an Independence Day or something. It's like this king was elected king in like the 1500s. Like it's kind of distant for most people. So like yeah, some people celebrate, I guess, but Midsummer is really Sweden's national day. So most people like normally when it's not Corona times, a lot of people go and dance around a big pole. You could call them maypole, but midsummer pole. And we jump like frogs, which is something that all grown-ups can do with a straight face, apparently.
Please, every time I've celebrated Midsummer, I was the only grown-up dancing to Snow Frog.
Well, I mean, it's different. In some places, grown-ups definitely dance. Sometimes it's mostly kids, but yeah. I guess it depends on the level of intoxication in some cases, but but anyway, it's a great holiday. Honestly, it's probably my favorite. So I don't know what to say. Like you usually like hang out with either family or friends often, or like you can usually like people will go out in the countryside somewhere. You can kind of decide how you want to spend it yourself. Like I think what's nice about Midsummer is that there aren't as many set rules as it is like around Christmas, for example. Christmas has more traditions. Midsummer is more like, yeah, you do it what you want to do it, and you don't have to celebrate if you don't want to. But it's a nice way to kind of remember or like celebrate that summer is here. We're gonna survive another year. Like we have survived this horrible winter, which this year was basically November for 6 months. And like it's getting better, it's getting warmer. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I like Midsummer, and that was this past weekend. And it since it's celebrated around the time, like the actual mid of the year, like the summer solstice, that means that it's actually getting darker now every day. So it's also a reminder that we're getting closer to winter again. So there's a level of sadness in it too.
By darker means that you actually get to sleep at midnight for like half an hour as opposed to not at all because it was that bright.
I mean, in some parts of Sweden, the sun doesn't even set this time of year. It never goes under the horizon, which is both pretty cool and pretty horrifying. Like if you like sleep, it's probably not very nice. So yeah. But then again, like in winter, the sun doesn't rise at all. It's not like that here in Stockholm, but in northern parts of Sweden, that's definitely the case. Oh, yeah, it can be a little bit tricky sometimes too.
Yeah, I'm trying to...
You can see that apparently when you undo stuff, it doesn't remember the order properly, so it ended up on top there.
Yeah, and what I'm trying to do here is I'm just gonna do this a little bit. I was trying to delete the tiny flower that I accidentally made, but I can't get to it, so I'm not gonna delete anything. It's an early access. Access.
We're working on this game. But it's gonna get better, we promise.
Pro tip: don't use very tiny flowers, or rather, use tiny flowers, but make them the way you want to make them before you make them tiny. Just saying.
It can help, yeah.
Okay. I'm okay. There will be a midsummer pole here, just so you know. And maybe not many flowers, but a few. You can have requests if you want.
I really like your use of the waves. Is that Aquarius?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not very good at horoscopes.
So I don't know. I just used it because it looks like waves.
Yeah, I mean, it's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very creative, and I think that's one of the strengths of this game as well. And I hope that you the players, will find that as well. Like, you can actually like just try to see what you can do with the shapes too. Like, okay, this is what I have. Like, what can I make out of this? And try to like be creative with the tools that you're given. I really like that, at least when I try this game. So I hope other people will do it too.
That's
Like-
yeah, that's kind of like the point of it, the creativity of it. So go banana. Banana. I stopped you. Continue, Anna.
No, I think I was done.
So can you tell us about the Midsummer Ball, which is definitely a cross and without no mating ritual connotations whatsoever.
I mean, there are so many like stories around the maypole, the Midsummer pole. I think most of them are like urban legends, but it looks pretty much the way Laura's made it here. So like it's a tall pole which usually you dress in flowers and leaves and so on, and has like two big rings on each side, or one on each side, and then maybe like a Swedish flag or something on top. And there are like some people who say that it's supposed to be a phallic symbol, and then it's somehow like impregnating Mother Earth or something. I have also heard that is complete bullshit, and that like it has
No.
nothing to do with it. So I actually don't know where the symbol comes from. I think it. Also, I'm not sure if it's like it has anything to. I don't think it has anything to do with Christianity. Like the fact that it almost looks like a cross. If I remember correctly, like similar symbols have been used down on the continent as well, like Germany and so on. It might be like an old pagan thing that has still survived. I'm not sure. I don't think a lot of people really knows. I don't think anyone really knows what the background is. But they're used pretty, if I understand correctly, like pretty much they look the same way all around Sweden as well. But like different parts of Sweden, I guess, take Midsummer, like they take them to a varying degree of serious. I don't know how to finish the sentence. They take like it's more serious in some part of Sweden than it is in others. So, for example, there's a region called Dalarna, which is often like kind of into the traditions, and like they still like. So on Midsummer, a lot of people might dress up in like folk clothing, what's called like traditional clothes, and really like it's a big deal to actually have a proper pole and like really dress up and like actually dance traditional dances and so on. And in some parts of Sweden, that's not a thing at all. So it kind of depends on where you are. I've been to one of those Midsummer celebrations once in Dalarna because I'm partly from there. And like they actually had professional dancers dancing, and like us mortals only watched, and it was so cool, and they were so good at these traditional dances, and like they were playing these beautiful instruments and so on. Whereas like where I usually spend my Midsummer, it's like we talked about, it's a lot of kids jumping as frogs with their parents and siblings and so on. A little bit more I don't know, just festive and just having fun. So it depends. Oh yeah, cloud as well. That's nice.
Does this look like a kind of a Midsummer? A little bit?
Yeah, this is definitely Midsummer.
Good.
Definitely, it's not a Midsummer if there aren't some clouds on the horizon. Another like trope around Midsummer in Sweden is like you always want to eat outside, like having a nice lunch or dinner with friends and family. but there it always starts raining, so you always start outside, and then you have to like pick everything up and run inside. And then once you're inside, it gets better again. So everyone runs outside or everything again, and then you just like keep running in and out all through the day and night. It's also one of those tropes. It was really nice this year, at least where I was, but usually it's, I don't know. The weather is not always kind to us on Midsummer.
They say, and I actually experienced this, that sometimes
Yeah.
it's colder for Midsummer than it is at Christmas.
Yeah.
Like
Not
it
this
was
year, luckily, but yeah, that's definitely a thing, unfortunately.
last year. It was. I remember last year it was super cold.
Yeah.
I remember we had some friends over, and I put all my winter jackets, away because June and stuff like that. But I had to take them off because we were freezing.
Yeah.
And my friend, okay, this is grass. I should probably put a sign, grass or something.
No,
But we can
I
make
like
it a
it.
little bit more. Okay. Now you're like so.
Very cute. Very cute landscape.
Thank you. Now, how do we make the sacrifices? The human sacrifices?
Right. Is that what you're doing next?
Well, I guess this is accurate, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't really talk much about it before the movie came out, so it's like a little bit of a bummer that like someone sort of spoiled our like the secret that we had. Not really cool, you know.
But this is this looks correct, right?
Yeah, I mean, these are kind of traditions that are very bound by the region. So, like, you would have blood skulls in like northern parts of Sweden, definitely. Like in some parts, it's more like throwing people into large pits, making them starve, and so on. So like, it sort of depends on the region. But I think this is okay. This qualifies.
Okay, good. Excellent, wonderful. What else is missing? We don't have enough schools. Yeah, sorry, I almost forgot. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, it's a very, very fun tradition. It's lovely, and you can't have Midsummers without some bones.
No, yeah, of course.
Like a lot of people say that you should always be aware of the potato function, because like if you stay around, you get to peel the potatoes. But the worst part is when you have to clean the bones.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's complicated. Like I don't know. I found it a little bit weird when I moved here. But you
Used
get
to
used
it,
to
right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Like when in Rome, like you have to take the traditions, like take them seriously when you come to a new place and like just adapt. So I think that's very big of you, Laura, to really like embrace our culture.
thank you. Of course, if I wouldn't have, they would have killed me. But that's
Yeah,
another.
yeah. I mean, there's also that you had to survive, right? But still,
Yeah. Well, now I am a citizen, so it's actually illegal for them to kill me.
I mean, it's like it's upside and downside, right? Like you have full health care coverage and everything like that, but also like you could be killed any Midsummer actually. So
No, but like of course you have private, free healthcare and everything because you don't want to eat.
yeah. So I mean, if someone tries to kill you and fail, like you would definitely be restored to full health and quite cheaply as well. So I mean, it's give and take. All countries have their own quirks. So.
Yeah, because they're like oh my god, healthy, clean eating and stuff like that, and you can't eat somebody who is sick or anything like that,
Mm.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
It's yeah. No, if there's anyone out there actually listening and believing what we're
Please don't
saying.
believe in this.
Uh,
We're not that weird, I promise. Why does this keep happening when we stream, Laura? We make weird French, I don't know,
creepy dudes and
creepy
ritualists.
dudes, and we talk about murdering people.
What can you do?
I don't know.
No, it's like we're game developers or something. Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
but
I think it's the games that make us violent, though.
yeah, totally. Especially this game. It's because of the
Yes, this is
skulls,
a
right?
very violent game, as you can clearly see. So, I mean, if you test this game for too long, you're probably gonna lose your mind.
Yeah.
We should probably like have a disclaimer somewhere in the game.
It's
Like this gonna be a PG 18 game.
1800, you mean?
Only vampires can play this game. So that's why Laura is streaming and I'm just watching because I'm not old enough, but she is. Because she's
Now-
actually a vampire.
So for the record, I actually oh God, what have I done? I'm originally from Romania, and I moved to Sweden about 10 years ago, 9 years or so, because I wanted to make games here. I used to make games before moving to Sweden, but then I started to play Minecraft and other Swedish games, and so I had to come here. I just had to. But the
And I'm very
reality,
happy that you did.
the reality is that
There's a bug there. Like now it thinks you want to reflect everything.
yeah,
or
I
it
know, I
Yeah.
should.
It's my bad. I'm gonna add it to the backlog as well.
No.
Sorry, I interrupted you, Laura.
No, so the too long did not read is that I'm a vampire, like a real world vampire.
You're not just from Romania. You're from Transylvania.
I am from
So-
Transylvania. Wahahaha.
Let that sink in.
Uh,
But you're also dragon, which still keeps confusing me.
no,
I
but
don't really.
It's I'll explain. Okay, so in Transylvania, the guy who became Dracula because he accidentally stumbled
Alright, the
upon
order
Bram
of-
Stoker and stuff. He was Vlad Dracul from the Order of the Dragons.
That is true. That's how it makes sense. Okay.
So vampires and dragons, really good friends, like really really good friends. Yeah, that's why I tell you that I know the dragons around here because we met this century or last century or stuff like that. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of time to develop a relationship, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
You're bound to be good friends by now.
And dragons also like live quite long, and when you're a vampire, you make friends and then they die and stuff like that. If they don't like come to you and say, "Oh, please, please, give me forever life," and I'm like, no, because it's not really that easy. But dragons also live very long, so you can be friends with dragons. That's fine. Yeah.
I'm learning so much. Thank you.
So, is this artwork? Does this artwork need
It's very nice.
or
It's an
stuff?
accurate representation of Sweden. Swedish Midsummer.
The schools are? Mwah!
Yes, the skulls are really the best part of this. I love it.
Okay, we need more shades of green, I think, and more elements, and definitely more skulls. And we also I would have used some fleshy thing, because not everything is clean, skull clean, like so. But maybe next time, right?
Yeah. I like this. This is very nice. It's beautiful and morbid at the same time, which is, the best combination.
Oh, I have a friend who does very 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 nice morbid art. I really hope he will see the stream. I think he'd like it, and he could have some good advice. Luckily, this is recorded, so I'm gonna ask him for good advice. The bugs happen is yesterday I streamed twice, once in the morning and once in the afternoon. And in the morning we had wholesome words, and when I was doing a Black Lives Matter art, bugs happened, and then
Oh.
we also made the wholesome bugs happen art, which is okay. So Anna, do you want to say about our wholesome social media?
Sure. I mean, I guess you can show it a bit. And oh yes, you are. Cool. So I mean, especially Laura is so good at like actually envisioning a better place. Like for example, we talked about like what would social media look like if everyone was actually nice to each other. So that's kind of what we want to simulate in this. It's not done yet, so it's also something I want to iterate on. But to like give you a little sense of progression and feeling of like I'm not just making art, I'm actually doing something with it. Then we have this like we have mimicked the social media sort of where you can post your art and people will react to it and comment on it. And we want it to be very wholesome, very like inclusive, and yeah, I guess you can show what happens when you post.
For example, now I'm going to share this very wholesome, very peaceful and loving art that depicts a true reality of Midsummer, and you will see how people react. You will actually see how people react. If you're watching, people react like this. The artwork is glowing with positive energy. It is so. That's why people are sacrificed, because of the positive energy. I mean, you have to get it from somewhere.
But someone at least thought it was really metal, which I agree about. And yeah, someone really like sensed the positive energy there.
Only 152
and
followers.
Now I think I think you already have all the followers you can have. All of the cool people are already following you on this save. But sometimes, yeah, I mean, you get some followers, some exposure, basically. But sometimes these people who are also posting on your feed sometimes they will see your art and like, oh, I want to follow this person.
Look at all
and then
my
they show up here. Yeah.
And I have
and when they do start to follow you, they also sometimes send you new shapes that you can play around with.
And we will make it. We will make it so you get shapes as a reward and color palettes, but also, oh my god, this must be the most perfect art for. Sorry, my camera is here. For wallpaper. Here we go. So the futuristic part is also like, I hope this room gives you Star Trek vibes because it is inspired by Star Trek. Whoopsie daisy. Hello, this is me. Hi. When we grow up, we will make it so we don't put the camera on top of important menus that we can no longer access. But anyhow, I hope the room gives you Star Trek vibes because it is inspired by Star Trek, and your room is actually a holographic room. So you interact with the walls. You can click on the paint application to paint. You can click on your gallery and customize it by favoriting and unfavoriting art. You can also change the layout of your artwork, and we will have a lot more layouts and a lot more room customization. This is your wholesome social media, and also, as you can see, you can click on any art that you have done and use it as a wallpaper. And right now we use,
or as an avatar as well.
Yeah, right. Thank you for reminding me. But is this no? I have to do a special, super quick Midsummer special avatar. Just super quick. I'm gonna be quick. I hope. But yeah, so tell us more about the people that are using, like the fake wholesome persons that are using the social media.
Sorry, what was the question?
If you can tell us more about them.
Okay, so they are divided into 5 archetypes right now, at least. We'll see if like we're really looking forward to your feedback, like what do you think about this? But so right now there are 5 archetypes. It's artsy, cute, edgy, hippie, and hipster. And for the mention first, they like really look at your art and like see what's in there, like what types of shapes are you using, what types of colors are you using, and sort of deciding what they think about your art. And then like we find like who likes your art the most, and that's what you will see there. And also the hipster ones, they're a little bit special because they like art that no one else like. They sort of pick art that maybe not a lot of other people like that much, and they will like really stan you. So like real life hipsters, they like to discover something that isn't really as big yet, so they want to like find you early and promote you and stan you. So yeah, they're a little bit special. And also there are 5 5 of these characters per tier. So they are like different levels of cool. And this is something that we're still working on, like how to show this to you as a player, like really give you a better sense of progression as you get more and more influential followers. We know that it can still be better, so we hope to bring updates to this now in early access. But the point is, like, you keep making art, and when you get new followers, they will give you new shapes, which makes it even easier for you to make art that other characters will like. So you sort of like you unlock more and more, you get new followers, you get more tools to play with to get other people to like your art and so on. That's kind of the feedback loop.
This is
And yeah, like we said, we never want anyone to like say that they don't like your art. It's always like very constructive and like trying to prop you up rather. Sorry, what were you saying, Laura?
So this social media that Anna described is the single player campaign. So it doubles down. We wanted to make something because we noticed that when we started to show the game around to our friends, we noticed there are 2 types of people. The first really, and it's kind of like me. I'm a sucker for Minecraft, and I always playing creative, and I make like tons and tons of villages of dream houses. Essentially, I imagine where would I want to live and how, and then I make whole villages of it. So, and I don't care so much about progressing. I don't mind it, but I don't care so much about progressing. I like to be creative, and I like to have free form creativity. And when we gave Kaleidocraft to friends, we realized that there are 2 kind of players. One kind is like me, with free form creativity, just give me the tools and I'm gonna go bananas and make my art. But then there's the other kind of players who want an incentive, some sort of feeling of progression of and reason for which to create this art and to actually learn how to make it. Because another interesting thing that I personally find fascinating, and I see it in me as well as I see it in many other people. We by default don't really consider ourselves creative and artsy. So when faced with a blank canvas and a bunch of shape and just like do stuff, a lot of people freeze. But I actually believe that everyone is extremely creative, and so far pretty much everyone who tried out Kaleidocraft from our friends came back with oh, I made this art and I made that art, and it's like mind-blowingly pretty, really mind-blowingly pretty. But we want this single player mode, which is this wholesome social media, to act as a tutorial and as a easer towards, being creative and just making art and trusting yourself that you can actually make amazing art. And while life might not always be so encouraging, our game will. So the community we want to create, even when we do build the online component and create a community of players, we really hope to keep the same tenets and principles of helpfulness and kindness and wholesomeness because we want Kaleidocraft to be a safe space where you want like just to be that place where you relax and create, and you are embraced and loved for that. Yeah. And even if you do
that sums it up.
skulls, even if you want to make like a ton of skulls, which we may or may not definitely want to make a lot of skulls, people will still love you.
I mean, there are a lot of people out there who really like skulls, right? So, I mean, would I ever?
No.
I don't know if you can see my shirt, but
By the way, Anna has the best shirts. Both Anna and I are kind of metalheads, and I think you're more into punk rock and stuff like that, and I'm very into heavy metal, like super heavy, rotting Christ kind of metal.
I used to be a die-hard headbanger, like really metal. I'm a little bit softer nowadays, but yeah. But you wouldn't be able to tell, but like you're such a badass, like really into heavy stuff, Laura.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But it's like sometimes the most surprising tastes lead to the most surprising personalities. And I like every time I go to metal concerts, I think that's one of like the best community and the best atmosphere that I can possibly encounter. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean I've been to so many like metal festivals. Like they're can really be like the most welcoming and like friendly people. Like I think you have to reach a certain level like acceptance, I guess. But like once you're like in the group, like your family, like you can go up to anyone and be like, "Hi, like let's go metal," and they'll be like, "Yeah." I think it's amazing.
By the way, if you're
Yeah.
listening, so Anna talking about badass, she used to be a metal band's journalist. Yeah.
Yeah, like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but like you went to every freaking concert. Like you saw everybody.
Well, a few.
You know.
And I've been to Wacken 5 times. That's in Germany. So don't recommend that bus back. It's horrifying.
When I grow up. Though it's very interesting how times are changing now with coronavirus and the creativity that people showed even in that to still create music, to still invent new forms of concerts, and yeah.
Definitely. It's going to be interesting to see what the world looks like after all of this. I hope like we can remember some of the good stuff and really like keep improving after Corona. But let's not get too Corona-y. I think it's nice to not think about it sometimes.
But yeah, so I think we are getting ready to wrap up.
Yeah, I think actually we can add one more thing.
Yeah.
Something that we actually added, which is more languages.
Oh, we are so happy about this, and this is like another proof for which I am so happy that we are able to make utopias, because like essentially what happened is we went on Facebook and just asked people, hey, we are 2 ladies making this game, does anyone want to help us translate? And yeah, just look how many languages we have.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's great. And this isn't even all of it. Like some of them are still being translated, localized. So more is coming. And I'm so grateful for the help that these people gave us.
You are absolutely awesome, and we cannot thank you enough. And we will add every translator in the credits, and make sure to check them out. And like if you ever need help, ping them. You know, just people are awesome. People are absolutely awesome.
Yeah, like I said, we're gonna add everything in credits when it's done as well, so you can see who's done this.
A few languages
yeah.
that are not added in this particular build but are coming super soon are Italian, German, and Turkish. Yeah.
Yes.
But
What about Romanian, Laura?
So do I have
When's
any
that coming?
Romanian friends watching?
Hey, I did Swedish.
Fine, okay, fine, okay.
No, it's up to
Bine.
you.
No, but I thought, that you want me to make shapes and stuff.
Yes, I do. You
No,
should
but
do what you feel that you're good at.
Romanian will definitely be included in the language. Yeah, definitely. Is there anything else we should mention before we stop this stream?
Not that I can think of. I think this is it, actually.
Thank you everyone for watching, and stay tuned on our community hub because, as I said, the update is coming.
Yes, and check us out on Discord. You can go to valiant.se/discord if you want to join, which we hope that you will. We have a tiny but very, very kind and slowly growing community. We really want to hear from you. We want to hear what you want to see in the future from Kaleidocraft. If you played Pandora Swing, maybe we really like to hear what your thoughts on that.
And we want
of course,
to see
we're gonna keep you posted on Ancestria. Yeah, we want to see your art, and we want to keep you updated on Ancestria, our game that's coming to Europe any day now, and so on. So we would like to hear more from you.
Stay tuned on our community and see you soon. But for now, goodbye, Steam Game Festival. Thank you for having us.
Bye.